Have you ever wondered why, despite all your efforts, clarity still feels out of reach? The truth is, it's not more effort you need, it's honest inspection. Because the path to precision isn't about doing more, it's about seeing deeper. Self awareness is the foundation of precision. It is the quiet force that turns mere effort into meaningful progress. Without self awareness, we often move through life on autopilot, reacting rather than reflecting, doing rather than understanding. But when we begin to notice not just what we do, but why we do it, a transformation begins to take place. Suddenly, our choices are not random. They are intentional, guided by purpose, clarity, and a deeper understanding of who we are. There is something profoundly powerful about pausing and asking yourself, what am I thinking right now? Why did I respond that way? What pattern keeps repeating in my life? These are not just questions, they are mirrors. Thought mirrors that reveal our blind spots, our strengths, and the small misalignments that quietly shape our outcomes. It is only by inspecting ourselves with honesty that we begin to move from vague ambition to focused action. Many people chase precision by looking outward, fixing systems, perfecting routines, learning strategies. While all these things are valuable, they remain incomplete without the inner lens of awareness. You can build the most detailed plan, but if you're unaware of the inner resistance, fears, or unconscious behaviors guiding your steps, the plan will falter. True precision starts by turning inward. It starts with recognizing how your mindset, emotions, and intentions align or misalign with your actions. There is a difference between knowing about yourself and truly being aware of yourself. The first is intellectual, the second is experiential. It means catching yourself in real time, noticing how a certain word from someone made you feel, how your body reacts to stress, how you subtly avoid the things that challenge your ego. This level of inspection doesn't require judgment, it requires curiosity. And when you replace judgment with curiosity, growth becomes natural. You're no longer defending your flaws, you're refining them. Self-awareness is not just about correcting mistakes. It's about becoming intentional in every area of your life, in the way you speak, the way you listen, the way you show up for others, and the way you show up for yourself. It teaches you to live deliberately, not just efficiently. It's what makes your actions sharp instead of scattered, meaningful instead of mechanical. The more self-aware you become, the more precise your energy becomes. You stop wasting time on things that drain you. You stop pursuing goals that don't align with your values. You start making decisions that reflect who you are, not who you're trying to impress. You begin to navigate life with a sense of calm clarity, not constant correction. Growth begins where excuses end. As long as we hold on to reasons why we can't, we block ourselves from discovering how we can. Excuses are comfortable. They give us something to lean on when fear or doubt creeps in. But growth demands discomfort. It asks us to stand face to face with our limitations and choose responsibility over retreat. The moment we stop hiding behind circumstances, we step into a space where transformation becomes possible. Excuses often come disguised as logic. Don't have the time. I wasn't given the right opportunity. I'm not ready yet. These statements feel valid, even protective. But what they actually do is shield us from effort, from risk, and from the possibility of failure. We cling to excuses because they give us an illusion of control, when in reality, they take control away from us. They trap us in a loop of inaction where nothing changes, not because we can't, but because we won't. True growth requires brutal honesty. It means looking at your life and asking, where am I settling? What am I blaming? What have I convinced myself is impossible? These questions aren't meant to shame you. They are meant to awaken you. Because the truth is, as long as your energy is going into defending your limits, it won't be available to expand them. Growth begins when you choose to be accountable. When you acknowledge that you are both the author of your habits and the architect of your future. When you stop making excuses, you begin to see challenges as opportunities. Obstacles are no longer reasons to stop, but invitations to adapt. Every setback becomes a lesson. Every no becomes redirection. Every failure becomes fuel. This mindset doesn't eliminate hardship, it redefines it. It allows you to find meaning in your mistakes and purpose in your pain. It shifts your question from a why is this happening to me to what can I learn from this? Growth isn't about perfection, it's about progress. But progress only happens when you take consistent action. Even when it's inconvenient, uncomfortable, or uncertain, excuses delay that action. They create gaps between intention and reality. And over time, those gaps turn into regret. But when you choose growth over excuses, you begin to move. Slowly, perhaps, but surely. You build discipline. You cultivate resilience. And you start to trust yourself. Because you're no longer looking for reasons to stop. You're looking for ways to continue. Taking ownership of your growth means embracing the truth that nobody else is responsible for your life. Not your past, not your parents, not your environment. Only you can choose how you respond, how you rise, and how you rewrite the story from this moment forward. Perfection is not flawlessness, but refinement. We often grow up believing that to be perfect means to be without error, without weakness, without anything out of place. But real perfection isn't about erasing every flaw. It's about continuously shaping ourselves with intention, purpose, and grace. It's the art of progress layered over time, not the sudden absence of imperfection. The pursuit of flawlessness can become paralyzing, while the pursuit of refinement keeps us moving, learning, and evolving. Refinement is a quiet, consistent act. It's the decision to improve one step at a time, not for applause, but for alignment. Alignment with who we want to become. It means being willing to revisit, to rework, to reflect. It means understanding that even our missteps have value because they show us where to adjust. Flaws are not failures unless we refuse to learn from them. When we refine, we choose to be sculptors of our own lives, shaping not just outcomes, but character. In a world that celebrates instant success, refinement reminds us that lasting transformation is rarely visible in the beginning. It happens in the early mornings when no one is watching, in the quiet evenings when you're reviewing your day, in the tiny shifts you make in how you speak to yourself or how you treat others. Perfection is not about being beyond correction. It is about being open to correction. It is found in humility, in knowing there's always more to discover, more to improve, more to uncover within ourselves. The pressure to be flawless can be heavy. It can keep people from starting, from trying, from risking failure. But when we redefine perfection as refinement, we give ourselves permission to grow. We stop waiting until we feel irready or unworthy, and we start acting from where we are. Every time we make a small change, every time we choose reflection over reaction, every time we strive to be better than yesterday, we are stepping closer to our personal version of perfection. Not someone else's standard, but one rooted in authenticity. Refinement also invites us to focus on the process, not just the product. It encourages us to be present, to be mindful of how we do what we do. Whether it's in our work, our relationships, or our personal habits, refinement helps us fine-tune the details. It asks us to notice the nuances, to care not only about the big goals, but about how we get there. It teaches us that integrity lives in the small things, in how we speak when no one hears us, in how we act when no one sees us. There's something deeply human about embracing our flaws while choosing to rise above them. Refinement is not denial of imperfection. It is its transformation. It is how we turn struggle into skill, wounds into wisdom, and chaos into clarity. It reminds us that becoming better isn't about being perfect from the start, but about perfecting through presence, patience, and persistence. Clarity comes from honest inspection. In a world filled with noise, distractions, and constant movement, clarity can feel rare, almost like a luxury. But it's not something we stumble upon by chance. It is something we cultivate deliberately, and it begins when we take a moment to pause, to look within, and to examine the truth of where we stand. Honest inspection is the bridge between confusion and clarity. It doesn't demand perfection, but it does require courage. The courage to face our contradictions, question our assumptions, and confront what we often try to avoid. When we are unclear, we drift. We say yes to things that don't serve us. We follow paths that don't fulfill us. And we become exhausted by the weight of misalignment. But when we dare to look within, not just at what we show to the world, but at what we whisper to ourselves, we start to uncover what truly matters. Honest inspection is not just about identifying weaknesses. It's about understanding your values, your desires, your fears, and your patterns. It is an invitation to witness yourself without filters, Many people avoid inspection because they're afraid of what they might find. They're afraid of seeing failure, regret, or unresolved pain. But avoiding the truth doesn't protect us. It prolongs confusion. True clarity only arrives when we stop pretending, when we stop making excuses, and when we stop seeking validation outside of ourselves. It comes when we sit in stillness, ask real questions, and allow ourselves to answer without judgment. Inspection is not just self-analysis, it's self-respect. It means you value your growth enough to question your habits. It means you're willing to separate what's real from what's rehearsed. Clarity doesn't shout, it whispers. It comes in moments of reflection when we allow ourselves to think honestly about who we are, and where we want to go. And sometimes it means letting go of identities, beliefs, or goals that no longer reflect who we've become. The more honest we are in our inspection, the sharper our clarity becomes. We begin to make choices that align with our truth instead of our fears. We stop being pulled in 100 directions and start moving with focused intention. That's the gift of clarity. It simplifies, it strengthens, and it sharpens. It allows us to act with purpose rather than out of pressure. It helps us discern between what we could do and what we must do. Honest inspection is a habit, not a one-time event. It is something we return to again and again, especially when we feel lost or overwhelmed. It is a reminder that the answers we're searching for are rarely outside of us. Most of the time, they are waiting in the quiet corners of our awareness, asking to be seen, heard, and acknowledged.